All right. So again, this is part one of two trainings. So I want you guys to really look at this like a lot of us want to get the message out, be on social media. It's part of what we do. And when we're looking at who we're talking to, oftentimes that is a missed step. But I want you guys to look at this as such an important piece which is why I broke it down into two trainings. So when we're looking at who we're talking to, I want you to see it more as who do you want to attract? Okay, who do we want to attract? And I want to get real specific with this because it's going to be a huge game changer for you guys. So when we're out there and you're like, well, who do I want to attract, Daisy? Well, yeah, I know someone who's motivated, someone who's in sales, someone who has kids or keeps their options open, right? 18 to 45 and a homeowner. Guys, this is like spraying from a spray gun. How many people do you think in your just like a 1 mile radius from where you're sitting, let's say 2 miles, right? How many people do you think you can attract from that? And maybe that's how you feel like, man, I'm just throwing it out there. Anybody could really join me. And I get it. Anybody can join us. We could do business with any one of these people. But when you're out there creating messages, maybe it's feeling like it's falling into a void because there's so many options, right? We're like talking to all these people, but I'm going to show you how to talk to that one, right? Because we only need one or two. We don't need a million. I mean, it'd be great, but if you're targeting your message to that one person, what are the chances that you're going to have a higher success of attracting that person, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that. And again, it's more or less of a spray gun and more of like, as I said, like a sniper. You're just like a sniper. You got a target and you're like, I want to talk to you. And this, man, I hope you guys get excited because it's going to bring so much value to your business. And I think it's going to give you a lot of clarity of who that is that you want to talk to. So why is this important? Like, who is your person? Who is it that you want to talk to? It's important because knowing who you're talking to or who you're selling to helps you, create content. It's going to attract the right audience. It's going to be personalized, authentic, and fun. But more importantly, it's going to build that trust. How many times do we hear that people buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? So it's ultimately going to lead to sales. And that's what we want. We want sales. We want partners. That's what we're aiming for. But if you're just speaking into the void, it's not really going to land as well as if you're talking to that person. Okay, so I hope you guys are kind of following me on that. And are you going to keep track of the chat, babe, for me? Mm-hmm. So again, what happens when you reach out to someone? What do you think is happening? They turn around and they go incognito to see who is this person? Who's this person that's reaching out to me for an opportunity or whatever it is? Or maybe it's someone that you've talked to a long time ago and you're like, hey, bro, what's up? Haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think they're going to do? What do we do? We go to the profile and we're like, what are they up to? What have they been doing? What are they sharing? Right? I guarantee you every single person that you reach out to is coming back around to do that. But if you have a personalized page now that is speaking to that one person, they're going to be like, they get me. They get me. I want to know more. I want to stick around. I'm going to follow, like, and just like see what this is all about. Okay. So we're building trust. This is really important. So again, when you're creating content, it should do one of these three things. Okay. You should educate, politely educate. You should encourage, and you should entertain. That's the reason why we're out there. That's the reason Ozzy and I get on the phone and do the things we do. It's to either encourage, educate, or entertain. Okay. If it's not falling within those three, I don't know. Maybe it's just, it's not going to land the way that we want it to. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you to my person. Okay. This is my person. This is Layla. And this is who she's about. I'm going to give you a real life example of who I'm talking to when I go online. She's 36 years old and married. She's got 2 kids under 4. Their household income is $75K. She's currently not working, but she's looking for something. She's thinking about going back to school. Money is a neutral topic in their home. She prefers to be on Instagram. She enjoys following organization, mom humor. She's really personal, friendly, and optimistic. And she personally knows the value of having your finances in order. Her father didn't have enough to retire, so he's still working a part-time job. And her brother left a widow with a young child scrambling after an unexpected death. Guys, this is who I'm talking to when I get online. I am really specific. I want to talk to Layla, right? And look at this. I positioned her in a way that she can become a business partner and she could become a client. This is a crusader I created, right? How many people do you know that you want to be crusaders with you? But off the bat, she's going to know the value and importance of this. At the very least, she'll become a client. But this is the person I want to talk to. This is who I want to attract. Can I attract Sue down the street that's, having a part-time job and needs to make ends meet? Absolutely. Do I want to? Sure. But do I really want to get Layla on board? You bet. I want someone like that. I want someone who gets it. Okay. And really what this is going to do is help me create that message that's going to entertain, educate, and, really bring her closer to me, build that trust with her. So I want to play a little game here, and I want you guys to comment in the chat. As next to me, he's kind of helping me filter out these comments. So I want you to see if one of these speaks to Layla. You guys already, I'm going to tell you again, she's married, 36. She's got 2 kids. One of them is already going back to school. She's got a little bit of time. They're making about $75K. They're okay, but they're feeling the pinch, right? She's not working, but she's looking for something, thinking about going back to school. Money's neutral in the home. It's a neutral topic. It's not negative. It's not positive. It's just kind of there. She's trusting her husband's got it at work, right? She's on Instagram. She enjoys, mom humor, being optimistic. She's friendly. She's got all these things going for her. So guys, tell me if one, A or B, speaks to her. A, real growth is when you start checking and correcting yourself instead of blaming others. Instead of blaming others, you take your power back by being responsible for your life. Does this speak to Layla, or might this speak to Layla? B, multiple streams of income is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. I want you guys to put it in the chat. Which do you think would speak to her? I'll give you guys a minute. B. I see that. Okay. Everyone sees kind of where we're going with this. And I'm not going to tell you guys where I got this from, but it's actually from people within this room that I got some of these snippets from. Okay. And there's no shame in that game, guys. We've all been there. We've all done it. But A really isn't going to speak to my girl. She's going to be like, okay. Right. And I'm speaking to someone else, though. I'm speaking to someone that maybe left my business, maybe ghosted me or whatever. And that's not coming from a good place. Can I get an amen? Right. I want to speak to this girl. I want to speak to this girl that I want to attract. So absolutely, B is going to speak to her a lot better. Here's another example. Drop your age to find out how much life insurance and savings you'd have with only $100 a month. It's A. Or B, I see families make the mistake of having no life insurance or having the wrong policy. Message me for a free quote or a complimentary review of your current one. Which one's going to speak to my girl? Y'all think B? Orlando said A. Tony said A. Okay, we got a divided room here. Yeah, I think A. I think A is going to speak to her. It's a very soft message for me speaking to Layla. Like, drop your age. Like, yeah, I want to know how much I can do with $100, instead. And it might work for her too. Like, I'm not completely dismissing B. It might work, but I think for her, she's trusting that her husband's got it at work. Right. And he says like, babe, I got it. I've got a life insurance at work. So she's not thinking like, we don't have any coverage. We've got coverage. Maybe she doesn't understand how our policy works, but she's probably thinking like, I wonder how much $100 could go. Right? Do you guys kind of see that little tweak? I think I have one more here. Okay. So this is A, 5 reasons you need life insurance: to protect your family, to leave an inheritance, to pay off debts, to have a financial security and peace of mind. Okay, this is option A. And option B, a man who dies without adequate life insurance should come back and see the mess he created. Which one's going to speak to my girl? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I would like to guilt him, but I'm gonna go with A.
Yes, you guys, it's A. A is going to speak to her. It's softer, and she's thinking like, yeah, we probably need to pay off debts, right? We need to have peace of mind. B is from a position of a woman scorn, right? Like, I don't think she's like that. She likes her husband. They're getting along great. The money isn't a negative thing in their home, right? It's a positive thing. They work together. So I just want to paint a picture, right, of like, it could be a simple shift. And if you're going back to your person, I call it an avatar. If you go back to your avatar, you can say like, what would Layla like to hear? what can I say that would attract her? Is it A or B? Is it this or that? When you're planning your content, when you're thinking of posting that one thing, saying like, man, does this speak to my person? So I'm gonna, again, here's how she is, here's what she is. And again, it helps so much to have clarity on this, because now you can create, educate, empower a message centered around that person that you want to attract. So how many Laylas do you guys think are out there? I want you guys to put it in the chat. How many do you think are out there? I'm in Austin. Let's say in Chicago. How many Laylas do you think are out there? A lot. Yeah. There's a lot of, yeah, maybe a million. A ton. Yes. You guys, there's a ton of Laylas out there, but how many do I need? I only need a few. I don't need a ton. I only need a few. Okay. So I hope you guys are kind of getting that. Now I'm going to shift a little bit. I want you guys to meet Antonio. Now, Ozzy's going to explain to you who Antonio is and what he's all about, because I'm so excited for Antonio. I think we've actually met him a couple times in real life, right?
I'm explaining this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all good. I want them to hear your voice.
Okay. My soothing voice. So Antonio, he's married, he's 34 years old, has 2 kids. I mean, a 2-year-old son. Wife works part-time. She obviously young children, works in sales, averages between 75K a year. Job is not the end be all. He knows that his bosses aren't necessarily where he wants to be. He sees the people around him culturally don't connect with him. Like they're just like suits, you know what I'm saying? He's self-motivated. Maybe he played sports in high school, maybe he was like all conference, maybe he was, had some success at some levels, right? Maybe either a death prevented in his family to play college ball, or even just financially being like in a poverty environment didn't allow him to play like college ball. Maybe he didn't play, like he wasn't going to go to the league, but maybe he could have played like junior college. He could have done something with it. So he's got that like sense of crusade, knowing that what poverty's like, and maybe even a family death, right?
Yeah, yeah. So Ozzy created the perfect person that will naturally fall into being a client, but more importantly, a teammate, right? He knows the job is not his end all be all. And he's had a death in the family that prevented him to reach the goals that he wanted to, because there just wasn't anything in place. So he has created a crusader, you guys. Can you see this? This is a crusader. This is someone who has a family, who wants more. He's self-motivated. He knows how to be a team player, and he knows the pain points of not being able to reach your goals because you don't have the right things in place. I hope you guys are following me, because this is so exciting.
And Antonio could be, he could be 2 demographics, if you know what I'm saying.
I think that's important too. It crafts your message. Like who can Antonio be, right?
He could be Antonio, or he could be Antonio.
y'all know what I'm talking about. So what do you guys think? Does this A or B speak to Antonio? People will spend 1 hour a week watching Empire, but won't put in 30 minutes to build a new one. A or B? Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's the vehicle or environment you're in. For example, you can want to go 500 miles per hour, but if you're stuck in a car, then that goal you have is impossible. You need to go in a jet that is designed to go fast. No matter how talented you are, how much you read and self-improve, it's impossible to go 500 miles per hour in a Ford Fusion. What do you guys think? A or B? What's going to speak to my guy, Antonio? B, a resounding B, right? Like he's self-motivated. He knows, he goes to the gym. He knows how to put time into his own personal self-growth, right? And again, you guys, sometimes we put these things out there because we're like, man, that kid, he joined, he said he was going to be the next one, and he dropped off, and I want him to see what a mistake he made, right? Like, y'all, we don't want to attract that kid. We want to focus on the people that want to grow closer to us. Chances are that kid is long gone, blocked you. He's not watching this, but Antonio might be, and he might be like, what is this guy up to? And he's like, oh, I don't need to hear this. This isn't for me. We want to put something that is for him. Okay, you guys see that? Here's another one. Are you serious about change? If you're serious about change, you have to go through uncomfortable situations. Stop trying to dodge the process. It's the only way to grow. Or step out of your comfort zone and face your fears. Growth takes place when you're challenged, not when you're comfortable. What's going to speak to my guy? A, B. Yeah, what do you think's gonna speak to him, babe?
They're both pretty close, man. I think I want to say I want to say A is like the way that I would normally try to talk to him, but I know that B is gonna be like more of a approach, right? Because I have a tendency to like want to like guilt people into
I know.
doing things.
Yeah.
So I know that's not how Antonio wants to talk because he's already motivated, right? Like somebody's already coachable. And he's like, man, he's just a nudge.
He just needs a nudge. Yeah, I think B as well. These are pretty close. But you know, this says growth takes place when you're challenged, not comfortable. He might be thinking like, dang man, I am a little comfortable. I know this isn't it, and I got to step out of that. So for sure. Now, guys, I'm gonna give you a real example of why it's important to speak to your person. Here's my boo. Here's Ozzy. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's on Instagram. He created a reel about infinite banking, and it's quick, it's short, but the details, the devil lied in the caption. So I come home and he's like, babe, I did this reel, take a look. And he shows me and he's like excited. And I'm like, oh, snap. So the caption said, don't fall for the lies, DM me and I'll give you the full details. And I'm like, does this speak to Antonio? Was the first thing I said. And he was like, why I always got to talk to Antonio? And I'm like, boo. And I'm seeing this thing, it's picking up, right? It's trending. And I'm like, babe, if Antonio is already following you, do you think he's going to be like, whoa, what happened with my dude? Like, he ain't talking to me, right? So I'm like, what else could we say? So I shifted that, right, to say this. You understand that get rich quick and one size fits all concepts don't work. You've probably seen some of these trends on social media. Connect with me. As a licensed investment professional, I'll show you why these concepts and products are built on sand. You guys could see it's edited, right? Like, which one do you think is going to speak to our guy? Right? And like, as he said, it's in our nature to be like, God, you guys don't know. We're the experts, right? It's like this coming from this place of guilt, coming from this place of like, I know better, contact me, do it. But like, we're speaking to someone intentionally. We have this vision of who we want to attract now. So it really does help you take your content to the next level, because Antonio's going to read this and be like, I do understand that doesn't work all. And I've seen these concepts and you're licensed. So help me understand. I am going to connect with you because I need to better understand this. I've seen this infinite banking thing, but it just something doesn't sit right. Right? Do you guys see that? I hope you guys, this is connecting some dots for you and why this is important. And I want you guys to really figure this out. Who is your person? Who do you want to attract into your business? You can create the ideal client. You already saw how many Laylas out there. How many Antonios do you think are out there, you guys? So many that just need a little direction. You're reaching out to these people intentionally and they're coming back around to see, what are you up to? Do we meet? Can I trust you? Are we clicking? Do you get my language? Right? So create that person. That's going to be your homework. Find out who it is that you want to talk to and craft your message around that. It doesn't have to be every day, but give them something to hang on to when they go back and stalk you on your page. Okay. And then maybe also it's time to revamp your bio. I just connected with this girl. She's so awesome. Her name is Becca Steele. She is in the business. But take a look at her profile, and I encourage you guys to follow her if you haven't already. She's a shopping addict turned financial coach. She helps you change your money story. She could teach you 7 steps to transform your financial life. And she's helping build a profitable business as a financial coach. Like, I want to sign up. Like, girl, what are you doing? And I've connected with her and she's so amazing and funny and just relatable. And her message is always on point. She knows who she's talking to. Okay. She knows exactly who she's talking to. She is an RVP and she's wonderful. I recommend you do that. Take a look at this. Tony, Chicago, Jesus, licensed professional, personal development. I help people own businesses and create massive passive income. You guys, it doesn't get any clearer than that. If your bio says like boss babe or boss bitch or whatever, maybe it's time to switch it up. Like, what does that mean? Who are you talking to? Who do you want to attract? Like, I want to know more about this. He's into personal development, right? He helps people own businesses. Like, yeah, Tony, tell me what this is all about. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to give you a follow. I want to know more about you. We did a little revamping on Ozzy's too. I think his was really basic before, just like growth coach, man of God. I tweaked it up a little bit, right? Christ follower, husband, father. I'm a licensed financial professional. Let's grow out of our comfort zone in our finances and our thinking. Boom. Clear. Right? So maybe it's time for you to revamp your bio a little bit, right? Identify your person, right? Identify your avatar. Tell me who it is that you want to talk to. And then like figure it out. Where do they shop? What do they do? How old are they? What are they following? You know, are they following Ratchets R Us? I don't know. You guys, maybe that's not your person. Right. And then revamp your bio, like look at who you're talking to. And I'd be happy to do a little exchange with you if you want to say like, hey, help me out with some words. There's tons of training out there, but you guys, we're in such an amazing place at the right time. And I really want you guys to run with this, because those people that are out there that you want to focus on and you're wondering where they are, they're right in front of you. We just need to like focus in, hyper focus on what's happening in front of us and speak to them, speak to that person that you want to attract. So, man, that's all I got. I'm going to open up for Q&A right now. Yes, let me stop.